difficulties happening where it kept freezing up a little bit, but he's gonna put it back on to the lady he was talking about that said she was getting bullied.
I'm not allowed to reveal the secrets of Jemison Black.
So was she a manager? Did she work at McDonald's?
The manager, she said the manager was bullying.
Toasted oak, caramel, and vanilla spice. It's the greatest whiskey I ever drank, and the greatest
Alright, I'm
story.
about to put it back on
I
one
never
more
did
time,
tell.
and then I'm gonna let her comment.
A lot where
Because I really
somebody
want her to.
posts something on
I
social
really
media.
wanted my wife to comment on it, for real, for real. So.
Sent home early. Yes.
Grade 19! Grade 19!
19.
Boom! DraftKings Casino?
Okay.
Probably psychiatrist, psychologist, somebody who's an
You wanna pause
advanced
it and tell people who are watching just in
practitioner,
case it's somebody
said she
coming
understands
on
what's
there.
going on.
Yep, so this is about the case in Michigan. It wasn't in Detroit, it was like outside of Michigan somewhere. A young lady was working at McDonald's, and she said she was getting bullied because I had to pick back up the live, it had stopped. But yeah, she said she was getting bullied by the manager, and she was upset clearly in this video she about to be on. I put it on the last one while you were out.
Okay.
But she doing a live. Y'all, what y'all about to hear now is her live. This before she, whatever happened, I don't know if the lady did something. I think whatever happened was another confrontation afterwards, because this seemed to like more of a warning video. Like if she mess with me again type vibe.
Like this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, it was all across the news. I had been seeing it. I never even talked to my wife about this. But I had been seeing it. But I see so much graphic stuff on YouTube, I just don't say nothing. But this one I brought up since we on here. So here it is. You about to hear, this are the lawyers, you know, the lawyers talking, giving their opinions on it. But you about to hear her talking on her live about what's going on with her. And then you're going to hear what happened.
Confident.
Let's talk about this. And by the way, you know, in a competency, I mean, you really explained it quite well. It could delay a trial for quite some time if the defendant is not competent. But talking about the mental health of this defendant and what might have been going on, and yes, she's innocent until proven guilty, but just before the stabbing, okay, Muhammad had gone live on Instagram and posted this nearly 7-minute video, this rant that many now see as potential evidence and chilling in hindsight.
I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. It isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, you know, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps sending her little racial And then throughout the day, she keeps on, like, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. That's gonna have to stop. She's a bully.
Been there, done that.
I'm telling you. She's a bully.
Haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
She brings a lot of negative energy in there.
Your current
she always
situation?
panic when there's a lot going on, and then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. You know, nobody's perfect. It's happens. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might get confused. So it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she'll be making mistakes. I be catching her. I be catching her.
And you could even hear her say there that her manager's behavior would, quote, catch up to her. And hours later, that grim prediction came true. I mean, if you listen to the allegations. Again, John, I just want to highlight that point one more time. Any way defense attorneys can make sure that doesn't come into evidence in a criminal case? Because if you ask me, that could be a slam dunk for them. For prosecution.
A slam dunk for them is the way to put it. I mean, I'm
But that's
racking
why
my
I
brain
say,
here to think
you
about
hold it
how
for a
you keep
minute.
that out as a...
Like what we just watched, and with that being said, that's when it comes to somebody's mental state.
Can I say one thing about that though?
Go ahead.
See, a lot of people, yeah, we all got mental issues, but it's a thin line between mental and I just don't take no shit. Like, everything don't gotta be you crazy, because
No,
you flip. Some
I
people
don't
are
think-
just, they got that gene
Yeah.
that they just going, if you mess with them, they gonna
That's
go.
it. Now, I do agree with you on that, but I don't think, what I say, I don't even think necessarily she has a mental issue. What I'm saying is, I get the term now when people say stop playing with my mental. You get what I'm saying? So I think it was only so much that she could take from whatever her boss was doing.
Her specifically.
Or this, especially if she was just taunting her and her only. From what I'm getting out of it, maybe she wasn't saying anything for a minute, because you know how some people can just hold stuff in, and it's a buildup, and you just holding it and holding it in. So that's what I think. From looking at what I observed, I could be wrong, but this is just my opinion and my observation of what I'm observing so far.
Again, condolences to the lady.
Yeah, because that's not right either.
She went far.
You don't go out and kill a person and do that. But what I'm saying, to that capacity, that young lady, you can tell it was just building up.
She was upset.
She was very mad, and she was hurt. And it sounded like maybe the supervisor might have known what her situation was, because she expressed on there, I have kids and you keep sending me home early, and I got kids.
She has kids.
Oh, she has kids.
She said, because I don't care if you got kids and
right
stuff like basically like your life ain't more important than mine or something.
So was she saying it to the fact of where
she sounded like a young person looking to an old person, like older person, like, well, I don't care if you older and you just trying to act like you this and that. I'm young and I'm trying to get myself together, kind of vibe.
So whatever, she's going through something as well too.
Yeah.
When she said that statement, that she's trying to get. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you don't know if this lady, the young girl, could have got kicked out, living on her own. Got to fend for herself. So
and for her to go on live and do that,
that's what I'm saying. You never know what a person is really going through. Yes. Not saying, once again, that she should have done that, because no, you don't go out and just start killing people.
And she said
or
racial
doing
slurs.
Anything like that.
That mean, because the girl's a Muslim, I think, because her last name is Muhammad.
Okay.
But they were both
black
women.
So the supervisor, this was a black woman.
Yeah, she said the lady, and she said, didn't she want to make her little racial slurs every now and then?
Oh, so maybe she was saying something about her religion.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
And because she's Muslim.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
and that girl looked like she was upset.
Yeah, she looked like she was mad, but what I'm saying, at the end of the day, I get what people mean now when they say don't play with my mental.
Yeah.
Because a person can just snap.
Facts.
At any given point. Not saying the person is crazy or nothing, but when people hold stuff on the inside like that and don't release
she just went way too
and
far.
Let it out, she snapped and really she went way too far on the crime that she did. But at the same time, that's why it's important that you don't bully people, because you don't know what it can do to them emotionally and what it makes them feel on the inside. And to her, it could have been like, well, how do I handle a bully? You get what I'm saying?
She was on camera playing with her knife and everything.
And so that's what made me bring up the mental part as well too. So it could be a trigger where maybe she got abused from her childhood or from somebody, or it goes a lot deeper. And so that's why you can't bully people, because you don't know what people are capable of doing.
You got some people who specialize in working and doing really good at jobs.
Yeah.
You got some people who specialize at being artistic, creative. Yeah. You got some people who specialize at running things. And you got some people specialize in fucking you up.
Oh, yes.
Some people really just, that's a gene.
Yeah.
That they'll go further than another person to go with that.
And that's true. Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody, but I'm just saying that's how it is in this world, and you don't know who you're bumping into.
That's right. You really don't.
The alleged assassin or the convicted assassin says things on social media about what they want to do. Situations like that, we see that a lot, where somebody posts something.
We're going to switch topics real at the second. I'm just going to let y'all look a little bit of this.
Is saying, I'm going to do this, are they in their right mind? If you're in the defense team, you want to say, look, this is what was going on with this person. So clearly they were not, they were not stable, and you want that to feed into the issue of confidence if you're trying to defend it. But at the end of the day, and in the final analysis, having a social media post where you make those kind of threats, even if it's not a specific threat, that's part of the whole, the penumbra of what you're going to present to the jury. You're going to say, look, this was set in action a long time before, and she completed the plan. So take that as a promise or a threat, and she fulfilled the threat.
Yeah, I want to go back, though, to this development in the case regarding mental health. And after several delays, there was, by the way, a review hearing in early September, while doctors completed their evaluation. Muhammad was back in court, on October 8th. And this is where the judge confirmed those findings.
The court is in receipt of a report dated September 17th, 2025. And it's my understanding that both the defense and the prosecution stipulate to the September 17th, 2025 report, which opines that Ms. Muhammad is competent to stand trial. Is that correct on behalf of the people?
That's correct, Judge.
On behalf of the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. So this matter needs to be set for a preliminary examination.
Now, in a statement to WJBK, Macomb County Prosecutor Peter Lucido said, the finding that the defendant is competent to stand trial ensures that she can now be held accountable through the proper legal process. The allegations describe...
So, yeah, that was that. I ain't going to go too far. And
Well, I'm glad that you brought it up because I do want to learn more about the case.
Yeah.
You know, to find out what they're going to do, because at one point they were talking about her mental health, but like you said, at the end of the day, I don't think I'm not going to say nothing mentally going on, because it could be, you know, as far as whatever her trigger could have been to make her do that. Now, she did know what she was doing. That I do believe, especially if she was playing with her knife on, you know, on live stream and everything like that. But at the end of the day, she was also saying, you know, why are you bullying me? Why are you doing this? What did I do to you to make you want to come after me specifically? Yeah. You know, that's why you can't just go around picking on people, thinking you can keep doing things to people and that person won't snap back. Just because they don't snap back right away don't mean, you know, they ain't got it out for you somewhere down the road later. You cannot do stuff like that to people. And like I said, it still gives that girl no right to still kill that lady that did that to her. And like we stated, condolences go out, prayers and everything like that as well too, because nobody has the right to take away another life. You know, no one has the right to take away another life at all. But that's where that bullying comes into play, because a lot of times when you talk about bullying, you, especially when it comes to kids or teenagers, a lot of these people, like it was one incident where, I forgot who it was, but it was a couple of years ago, this girl was getting cyber bullied. She was in high school and they were cyber bullying her and the girl hung herself. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the effect that it really has on people. And then when you sit up there and these people take their own life away because they're getting bullied, then all of a sudden you want to talk about, oh, well, we didn't mean for her to do that. We didn't want her to do that. But when you sending messages to the girl talking about kill yourself and nobody loves you, and you know, you don't do that to people. You just don't. Mm-hmm. You know, that's something you just don't do.
It is kind of off topic. I don't know. I had seen this across the timeline. It was about Michael Jackson, Bodyguard, talking about.
You know they coming out with a movie and his nephew's supposed to be playing them. Did you see that?
It's about to drop. It dropped in 2026. I just watched it.
Yeah, it did. And his nephew do just look like him.
Yeah, he do.
He look exactly like
Jafar.
Jafar. Yeah, Jafar. That's his name.
I think it's, what's the other brother name with the head of wavy?
I don't know.
Jermaine, son, I think.
Okay.
He do look just like him, I ain't gonna lie. But this is a Bodyguard talking about people when he was around him, how he was.
Who? Say goodbye to your reading glasses, computer glasses, and even your sunglasses. Introducing the last pair of glasses you'll ever need.
Back for this.
Over 10 years, he was the man Michael Jackson called when he came to the UK.
We became mates, man. We just hit it off.
Martial arts expert Matt Fiddis was his bodyguard and confidant.
I'm Michael Jackson, pleased to be. Said, if you could be my friend, your life will never be the same again. Very few people knew him.
Yeah, we just blowing time, but I'm gonna turn the camera on in a minute. We're gonna have a little discussion.
Probably still the biggest star in the world now.
But this is his Michael Jackson Bodyguard speaking out
about how he was as a person or something
in real life.
Oh, okay.
And not like what people think about him, because You ask any given person on any day, they're gonna say Michael Jackson was a molester.
I don't believe that.
I mean,
that's my opinion. I really
that.
don't believe that he was. I believe Michael Jackson was infatuated with kid things, because if you do the history and watch certain things on Michael Jackson, he said so himself. He never had a child.
Like a criminal. So I am innocent.
At all.
Parents have made a complaint that their boy said they were molested by Michael Jackson. There's a lot about this.
Let me get past this part.
It seems like he did put himself in certain situations that obviously made people question this. So why did he do that? Why was he not conscious enough in that case to go, maybe this doesn't look right?
Yeah, give me an example.
I'll preface this. I was on a chat with one of my mates last night, and I was saying about the interview that we had today, and he said, oh yeah, not a fan of him. And I said, oh, well, I agree that there are obviously outstanding allegations, but I think he is the greatest musician to ever live. And you can't take that away from him. And he said, yeah, well, I don't know anything about him, but I know that he slept in a bed with kids.
Okay, well, let's talk about the bedroom, right? So Michael didn't ever have any privacy. So you're talking about Neverland, yeah?
Yeah.
So Neverland is like hundreds of acres. It's huge. So if he wanted to go and walk around what we would call our garden, then Michael couldn't just walk around on his own, because people would parachute in and say, oh, I've done it by mistake. Where am I? In the hope they can bump into Michael Jackson, right? So he used to walk around, and security used to walk around with him. He had 150 security staff at Neverland. So when we come to, nothing was private, that's what I'm trying to get to. And even in the house, you had people there, maids, security, everything's on camera, and so forth. So his only privacy he's got is his bedroom. So you've got this long corridor, which I'm sure you've heard about this, long corridor, and just like anyone who's a billionaire or super successful, I've got other friends, I won't mention their names, I haven't got their permission. Some of them are famous, some of them are not. They have this alarm mat. In fact, I have one on the grounds of my house. So if someone enters my premises, it hits the alarms off. So he has this ground mat underneath the carpet. People go over it, it makes a noise in his room to alert that someone's coming towards his door. Now, people took this in the wrong way. That's pretty damn normal when you're protecting megastars, right? And then he's got his bedroom door, and then when he goes in there, he has to bolt himself in like crazy. Because when that parachute person comes in, or someone breaks the boundaries of Neverland, the head of security of the ranch will hit the button, and Michael has to run into his bedroom, bolt everything in, and inside what they call the secret nonsense sex abuse room was his panic room. That was built before he had Neverland, when it was called Sycamore Valley. Him and Michael and Paul McCartney filmed a music video called Say Say Say. He liked the ranch, middle of nowhere, and so he had this room was already there. Most billionaire houses have these panic rooms, and it's all equipped with stuff to keep him entertained. Because sometimes it was up to 24 hours until the whole premises of Neverland was searched before we could let Michael out again. So, yeah. No, his bedroom. Okay. So his bedroom is the size of a mansion. It's on 2 floors, 2 bathrooms, jacuzzi, arcade games. It's his privacy. It's the only place in the world that he's literally got to himself. It's huge. So when you talk about people sleeping in your bed, it's took out of context. And I know he got stitched up, and I'll talk about that later, because I was in the initial introduction where Mike Bashir pitched Michael. I was there in the meeting, and I was asked by Michael's lawyers to give evidence to try and stop that awful documentary going out. But no, it's huge. I mean, Michael don't sleep in bed with boys. I mean, it's ridiculous. What would happen? It's like a house. Imagine you got a house with your friends around, got a fire going.
And this is his bodyguard. It's not just no person who ain't
been there. It's his bodyguard.
Kids there, boys and girls. Mostly his nephews and his nieces
because he's around them all the time.
And
some people never dreamed of being that big, so they don't understand.
I didn't think it was the right thing to be doing. I mean, if someone moved next door to me, who's a billionaire megastar, and I hear that they're single, for one, which he never was single, by the way. He always had a girlfriend or was married. And they've got kids sleeping in the room with them. I would be the first one to call the police. But I know Michael knew what it was about. I understood the situation. I've been to his bedroom. I get it. It's not a bedroom. It's a flipping house. The damn thing's on. Macaulay Culkin when it came out. It's hard to get people. Do you know how hurtful it is for my friend to be called a flipping paedophile? You know, I had 2 stepsons with my rehearsal marriage, my first marriage, and they would fit the category of the so-called kid that he was the narrative, you know, they'd go after. And he would take the kids to Hamleys and they would stay in the hotel suite with us off a bedroom. The guy's just not into that. He had his girlfriends there, you know. My biggest challenge with him was sneaking the girls into his room and not. He wants to protect his life, keep the mystery going, and it backfired on him.
I don't know why they act like you can pause it, because all I want to say is on this is this, and if you want to turn the camera towards me, you can.
Sorry, y'all. In a minute, we're gonna get upgraded to. We're gonna have to turn the camera on TVs and all that.
So to me, all I want to say, I don't understand why people act like Michael Jackson was some type of mutant or somebody that's not human.
But he didn't put nothing in public, so you wouldn't know.
Because he was private, and there's nothing wrong with being private. And I'm gonna just say in a way.
Shameless plug. We got the same birthday.
What I was Beyonce is the same way.
I'm private
when it
like
comes
that, for real.
to her family, you know, and her. She's private. She's a private. She's a private person.
Yes.
So he's the same way. And what's wrong with being private? If he don't want to expose, so you can know what girls he got. The man had a girlfriend. The man just said it. This is his bodyguard. So you know he was always with Michael Jackson.
And when people don't respond to those allegations, does not make them true. Sometimes they just don't respond because it's petty.
No, they don't respond because, like you said, why do I have to explain anything to anybody? And this is my life. You don't have to explain nothing to nobody. You let people think whatever it is they want to think. More curiosity for them. But this man I believe this man was not touching on no kids. He wasn't doing no molestation. Like his bodyguard just said, the hardest part we had was sneaking his girlfriends in the house so people couldn't see who he was dating.
Now, I'm not saying, well, first of all, this courtesy of Strike It Big podcast. It's not our podcast we're using this information from, so I don't want anybody to think that we're trying to use their stuff. But and another thing is, like, it is possible for him to have been doing something like that. I'm not saying
doing
that.
Something like what?
Like something wrong. It's possible for anything to happen. But for people to just jump automatically and just because they don't understand a life of a person does not make it true.
Exactly.
That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm just saying he was just a very private person. People talking about he was weird. No, he's not weird. He respects his privacy. That's why, I don't know if you remember that one interview he did.
Intelligent too.
And very smart. And somebody was interviewing him and he kind of chuckled a little bit. But he said he chuckled because he thinks it's so funny how people make all these accusations up about him and none of it is true.
Yeah.
You know, he was like,
he was
like, I don't even get mad because at the end of the day, I know I don't do this stuff.
And the way he said it when in that deposition I was watching, he was like, just the idea that people saying that I actually would try to hurt a baby or a kid.
That's crazy.
Like, he seemed like he was being honest.
I believe he was being honest. Because at the end of the day, like, come on now.
Okay.
It's like, leave that man alone and let him rest in peace.
So I'm going to go back to his bodyguard just for a minute.
Also this narrative or this argument that he... I guess never had his own real childhood, and that's why he liked to do childish things or hang out with children. And is that true from your experience?
Mike was a big kid when he wanted to be.
I just want to say that part right quick. Now, when they're talking about, because what they're talking about now is him being around kids and people saying it's weird. It ain't weird. The man didn't have no childhood. His security guard just said he didn't have a childhood, so he still wanted to be able to do those things. I believe that's why he had the giraffes and the monkeys and all that other stuff like that. Yeah. That's why he had the amusement park built, really for his enjoyment. Mm-hmm. You know, it was nice enough for him to open it up to people on certain days so the kids can come and, you know, get on the rides and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if your whole childhood is being stripped away from you, where you're not being able to enjoy.
You don't know how I feel because it ain't happened to you.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So if his whole childhood is being stripped away from him, at the end of the day, can you imagine he didn't get to enjoy what other kids was really out there being able to enjoy. Right. Whether it's just playing outside, playing football, going skating, going to, you know, parties and just doing like kid-like stuff. of course the man is going to want to yearn to have that feeling of, I want to be a kid.
Yeah.
I know I would, because when you get into...
I got it now.
But see, the thing about it, when you get to his type of status,
yeah,
which I don't think
Can't
nobody
go nowhere.
would ever be able to, and I don't mean no disrespect by that, but from what I've seen, no one will be able to hit Michael Jackson's status.
It's almost impossible.
It's impossible in a way. So when you're constantly just doing that from the time he started up into adulthood, he had no life.
Right.
No life to enjoy what other people can enjoy. So these people is nuts.
Back of a car once, and sorry, it's like a fly thing attacking me. I'm not like karate chopping.
I don't think we're going to get it.
I was on the back of a car with him once, and we had this conversation about this stuff. Because when he was in business mode, he'd put his glasses on, and he'd be ruthless, you know? He'd like unbelievable. And you got two sides to Michael. You got his mother, who's lovely, Catherine Jackson, who's lovely, Dorian, great heart, you know. And then you've got Joseph Jackson, was his dad, who's kind of known, you know, he's known to be a ruthless businessman, made the Jackson 5, and you could credit him for the Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, and so on, you know. So, there was sides to him. Now, in the back of the car, we were driving from Uri Geller's house. We had dinner at his house. We were heading back to London, and I said, Michael, this whole he's on about his pajamas. He had these funny pajamas on, where he basically like Mickey Mouse, and you squeeze it. And this guy's 42, right? I said, Michael, what are you wearing pajamas like that for, 42? He said, Matt, listen to me. If you look at all the artists in the world, and he didn't use music art as an example, he used like painters, like Leonardo, Da Vinci and stuff. They do their first 1 or 2 or 3 pieces, and they're big hits. And then he went on to music. I won't name them, because some of them are still alive, they might sue me. But you name some musical artists where they do their first hit's a big hit, and then you never hear from them again. Or they do 3 or 4 hits or an album, then they go away, you never hear from them again. When Michael Jackson, you noticed everything was a hit, every album was a hit. And he said he made a huge effort, because he recognised in the world from studying the greats, like Steven Spielberg and people like that, they make an effort to stay childlike. As soon as people start believing they're growing older and they're aging, they lose that creativity. So by making the effort to stay childlike, he kept his creative brain going. Now, the reason he wanted to be around kids, it's not just kids, it's animals too, is because the only people he could trust. Everyone else would be with him, be asking about Billie Jean, Thriller, Bad, dancing, after his money, pitching him for business deals. Animals and kids didn't used to do that. So he could actually chill out and relax, you know, and that was it. I mean, that's no more to it. Childhood, okay, I have my own opinion on that, and he did tell me he used to do with his childhood too, but his brothers I know, and they're not got no issues. They said the childhood was tough, but Michael is different to Jermaine. He's different to Tito and Marlon. Michael was very sensitive. He couldn't. Well, I could say he couldn't handle it clearly because of the way he passed away. But he wasn't built for this international intrusion on his life. He tried his best, and no human being, no matter. He used to say he's got rhinoceros skin, but I knew at times it would hurt him. You know, I'd see him crying and stuff. And whereas the other Jacksons, like Tito, he's a tough dude, Tito. Jermaine's tough as well. Michael was sensitive, so I think it's more so that he would like to have had a choice. That's what he told me. He can't remember not being famous. He would like to have had a choice to maybe try out a life not being famous and thinking about it. He didn't know any different. I mean, he was the one that he wasn't going to be in the group. Jermaine was the lead singer. Just little Michael was getting in the way, and the brothers like, get out of the way. And he performed at a school play. And
okay, y'all. We just wanted to show you like a snippet of that. Don't mind me, because it's very early in the morning. Hold on 1 second. I don't know how he had this set up. Okay. Okay, but anyway, you guys, we wanted to thank you all for coming on here. If you missed our podcast, you can always go back on our Facebook page and rewatch it. Like I said, we really just wanted to jump back on here so we can get back in the vibe of being back on here. Because we had a long while, and we wanted to get back used to being on here. Because like I said, we're just dealing with everyday life. everyday things. And then the things that we literally talk about, nothing is scripted. And that's the good thing about our podcast. This is actual stuff that me and him talk about when we're just at home or laying in the bed or wherever. That's why we're in the bedroom now, because it was like, let's just put it on and let's just start going from there. But you guys, don't forget what I told you about the daycare. Don't forget what I told you about my book release as well too. I will appreciate your donations, whatever you are able to donate. We're going to try to be on here more consistently. My husband does have to work today. So if we're not back on here tonight, because we at least wanted to get on two times per day. But if we're not back on here tonight, we will most definitely be back on here tomorrow. It'll probably be the same time, or it'll probably be sometime in the midday, just so we can get back to connecting with you all and just speaking on everyday topics and everyday life. And once again, don't forget, if you want to use our platform as well to promote whatever it is that you may want to promote, if you have a business you want to talk about, if it's a subject you want to talk about, you're more than welcome to come on to the Shut Up and Listen podcast and do that. Because like I said once before, this is not just our podcast. This is you all's podcast. It's like a community podcast. That's what we're really trying to make it into. So don't forget that. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your morning. We're going to try to enjoy the rest of our morning. The kids are kind of waking up right now and moving around, so we need to tend to them, get them up, make them some breakfast and all that other good stuff like that. So you all have a good, blessed morning. We will check you guys out later and talk to you soon, okay? Have a lovely, lovely morning. We're out of here.